On April 2, 2024, 44-year-old Bassirou Jomai Fie was sworn in as Senegal's fifth president. This is remarkable because since April 2023, he had been languishing in jail based on politically motivated spurious charges. Yet less than 2 weeks after his release, he won the presidency in a landslide. But Fie is only the latest in a long list of African political activists who became president or prime minister after being jailed. Here are the 15 most notable Africans who went to jail before becoming their country's leader from the most recent. Number 2.
Once a jailed opposition candidate, Bassirou Jomai Fie was sworn in on Tuesday as Senegal's fifth and youngest ever president. The 44-year-old former tax inspector defeated Amadou Ba, the candidate of outgoing President Macky Sall's ruling coalition, by a landslide in the first round of voting.
Je suis conscient que les résultats sortis des urnes expriment un profond désir de changement.
I am aware that the results of the ballot box express a profound desire for systematic change. Through my election, the Senegalese people have committed themselves to building a fair Senegal, a prosperous Senegal, a progressing Africa.
Dans une Afrique en progrès.
The new president has vowed to tackle corruption and introduce a series of economic reforms to prioritize national interests, including the renegotiation of oil, gas and mineral contracts with foreign operators.
Le Sénégal, sous mon magistère, sera un pays d'espérance.
Under my leadership, Senegal will be a country of hope, a country at peace, with an independent justice system and a strengthened democracy.
Démocratie renforcée, avec une justice indépendante et une démocratie renforcée.
This is my promise, based on the oath I have just taken before God and the nation in your presence.
Devant Dieu,
Number 2.
I, Olusegun Obasanjo,
do solemnly swear
that
I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and that I will preserve, protect, and defend the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So help me God.
Number 3.
Both Nelson Mandela and South Africa had traveled a long way to get to this moment. More than 300 years of white domination ended for good with the swearing in of Nelson Mandela as this African nation's first black president.
So help me God.
He was the most famous opponent of the brutal racist system of apartheid, imprisoned 27 years. Today,
Number 4.
Former resistance leader Sam Nujoma made it official, then gave his first speech as president.
I move in the name of our people to declare that Namibia is forever free, sovereign and independent. I thank you.
That was the signal for a night of celebrations to begin.
Number 5.
Le témoignage de l'aide, présenté comme panacée et souvent trompetée, sans rime ni raison, est ici éloquent. Très peu sont les pays qui ont été comme le mien, inondés d'aide de toutes sortes. Cette aide est, en principe, censée œuvrer au développement. On cherchera en vain, dans ce qui fut autrefois la Haute-Volta, les signes de ce qui peut relever d'un développement. Les hommes en place, soit par naïveté, soit par égoïsme de classe, n'ont pas pu ou n'ont pas voulu mettre.
There are
Number
still
6.
some people who would like the nation to go back to childhood. Such a person was the man from the Osu People's Defense Committee, most unfortunate, who got up to speak.
Racialism, because
Number
it
7.
assumes in the first instance that the people have got to be arranged in compartments based on color, You have Europeans in one compartment, Asians and coloreds in two other compartments, and the Africans in another compartment. And immediately you talk of multiracialism. You are accepting as a starting point that the races are different, and this difference must be recognized. We are non-racialist in our approach. That is, we regard as an individual as an individual, and that everybody must be accorded his full political rights, whether he be white or black, educated or uneducated, rich or poor. And this is exactly why we are at the moment struggling to earn for our people one man, one vote.
Da Sua Excelência, o Senhor Presidente da República Portuguesa, ao ato final da assinatura do acordo, ficará registrado na história de Portugal, nas histórias de Portugal e de Angola, como um eloquente anúncio de progresso político.
Number 9.
Cada povo é independente de escolher os seus amigos.
Each people is independent to choose its own friends.
Cada povo é independente de escolher os seus aliados.
Each people is independent to choose its allies.
Cada país é independente de escolher o seu sistema de desenvolvimento, ver as prioridades. Esperar que peçam os russos e os cubanos, depois já vão fazer a pergunta. Ainda não me fizeram o pedido.
Now wait until they ask the Cubans and the Russians, and then you can ask me this question. But they have not asked me anything.
E nunca pensei.
And I've never thought.
Mas deixar os russos pedir, cubanos pedir, depois já vão fazer pergunta.
Let the Russians and the Cubans ask to land here.
Não, ainda não fizeram o pedido.
No, it is that they
não, ainda não decidiram.
They have not asked.
Ainda não pediram.
They have not asked.
Number 10.
But we feel that the reward of the honey is now ours to share among our own people. When we look back the path which led to this conference room today, we cannot entirely forget, but we can certainly forgive the days of our imprisonment and the occasions when many of us have been subject to personal indignities and hardship because of our political ideas. These unhappy memories have served only to broaden our minds, just as fruitful labor builds the body. And let me repeat, Mr. Chairman, we have no place for bitterness in our minds or in our actions.
Number 11.
I, Jomo Kenyatta, being chosen and admitted to the cabinet in Kenya, do swear that I will be true and faithful to Kenya, and that I will, to the best of my judgment, freely give my counsel and advice for the good management of the public affairs of Kenya.
Indépendance, aujourd'hui victorieux. Je vous salue au nom du gouvernement congolais. À vous tous, mes amis, qui avez lutté sans relâche à nos côtés, je vous demande de faire de ce 30 juillet 1960 une date illustre que vous garderez ineffaçablement gravée dans vos cœurs, une date dont vous enseignerez avec fierté la signification à vos enfants, pour que ceux-ci, à leur tour, fassent connaître à leurs fils et à leurs petits-fils l'histoire glorieuse de notre lutte pour la liberté. Nous avons connu les ironies, les insultes, les coups que nous devions subir matin, midi et soir, parce que nous étions des nègres. qui oubliera qu'à un noir, on disait tu, non certes comme à un ami, mais parce que les voix honorables étaient réservées aux seuls blancs.
Il y a beaucoup souffert dans notre corps, dans notre excès de l'oppression colonialiste. Nous vous le disons, tout cela est désormais fini.
De la francophonie, de la
Number
francité,
13.
peut-être auriez-vous une observation ou une réflexion à formuler?
Je peux dire que depuis le mois de décembre, la francophonie et plus précisément l'organisation de la francophonie.
Number 14.
Nous préférons la pauvreté dans la liberté à la richesse dans l'esclavage.
Il y a des premiers présidents de la Guinée à tenir ces discours caustiques et poignants devant le général de Gaulle au palais du 25 août 1958 qui a donné naissance au vote du 28 septembre suivi de la proclamation de l'indépendance guinéenne le 2 octobre 1958.
The father of African nationalism, Nkrumah gave funds to other nationalist movements and preached the message across the continent.
This mid-20th century is Africa's. This decade is the decade of African independence. Forward then to independence now. Tomorrow, the United States of Africa.
With the exception of Léopold Senghor, who remained a French puppet or loyalist throughout his 20 years in office, the stories of all these African men have one overriding thing in common. In spite of the fact that the odds were stacked heavily against them, they hung in there and eventually triumphed. This should inspire anyone who may be an underdog going against more powerful opponents. Like and subscribe for more of such videos.